Yeah, the Greench is taunting back, I think.
Charge!
Uh-oh. Can we pull out? Can we pull out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm inside.
Hopefully we don't like insta wipe or something. Hey guys, it's also back with a video to showcase my most recent raid with the mechanical Greench pet. This is a bit of a cheesy item obtained from the Winter Veil event that can be used to get the top logs, and there's no news currently that I've heard of at least that is going to be removed from the log. So if you want to compete for those top spots or get the highest damage log possible, you'll definitely want to pick up this item and use it to the best of its ability, because you only get that one opportunity to use it until next year. So I'll be going over where to get the item, as well as I'll be going over each boss, showing how you can best avoid this pet just running amok and ninja pulling pretty much every single boss and kind of ruining your start to every boss. So yeah, let's go. In regards to obtaining the item, you want to head over to either Ironforge or Ghamoo-ra, go to Great Father Winter, and near him will be the Christmas tree, and underneath that Christmas tree you'll want to loot a ticking present, which will give you a box, and inside that box will be the mechanical Greench pet. This is a 10-minute summon item that has a 10-minute duration and a 10-minute cooldown that summons a level 59 hyper-aggressive mob that will continue to chain pull until it either dies or it leaves your range and it'll come back to you. Keep in mind, this pet cannot be dismissed once summoned. So once you summon it, you're going to have to deal with all of its crazy antics and play very carefully around it. So let's go on to the raid and I'll show you how to use it. One last thing, if you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, leave a comment or subscribe. All of those things will help me out immensely. Anyway, moving on. So before we head into the raid footage, I want to quickly go over the logs displaying how much of an impact that this item is making for us. As you can see, I did get the overall top damage pass across the entire raid. However, when it comes to all stars and single boss performance, I don't think I'm currently the top right now. But quickly going into our raid, you can see we all used the pet. This little blue bar indicates how much of a percentage of our damage was done by the pet. Obviously with the hunter it includes their pet as well, so that's not entirely the Greench pet. As you can see, we all used it. For healers it was a massive increase, doing like 4 times as much damage as they would normally do. But for each one of us it made a pretty sizable DPS increase to each one of us. So to look at me in particular, it did 21% of my damage, which is huge. And I think if you're unable to get a really good performance in with this pet, I think you're pretty much screwed on logs until the end of this phase unless they remove it. Because I'm pretty much near Biss, and I'll go over my gear in a second. But there's no item increase that'll give me this 21% damage, I think, till the end of the phase. So you really need to try get a really good raid with this item. Otherwise, I don't think you'll be able to compete until it gets removed from the logs. So quickly going over my gear, I am using the Twilight 2-piece. I'm using this Stamina Spirit trinket, which is kind of useless. The new Invoker's Mantle, which is the Biss shoulders. The Ancient Moss Cinch, which is the spell power belt from the raid. I'm using 16 arcane spell damage legs. That's what these legs are. The Tailoring Epic Boots. The Nature spell damage braces, greens. I'm using the Nature spell damage gloves. The ring from Kelris. The ring from Warsong Gulch. The trinket from the end boss of the raid. The trinket from Warsong Gulch as well, a 9 arcane spell damage cloak, which is technically Biss, and then I got the staff pretty recently, which is pretty huge, and the mind expanding mushroom, which is the only idle slot that we have. So that's the gear, and now let's go over to the raid. So we personally did not use our Greench on the first boss, but if you do, I'd recommend being on the front platform when you summon it, because I'm not sure if it'll be able to get to the boss or not if you summon it on another platform, because there's those little breaks in the platform. Yeah, it's a pretty quick fight, no problem there. There is a problem, however, when you're moving to the next boss. You need to be very, very careful that the Greenches do not pull the turtle, because then they're going to die and you're going to lose a charge. So Ghamoo-ra was the first boss that we decided to Greench. I recommend using it around 3 seconds on the pull timer, because it will just gun the boss down as soon as you spawn it. We had a pretty messy pull. There was a lot of threat issues. I was pulling aggro quite a bit. We had a tank die. We pulled a bit early as well, so not our cleanest pull, but I did do a ton of damage. I think this was like at least top 3 Ghamoo-ra pulls for balanced druids. So yeah, even though you may have threat issues, you can still do a ton of damage. Another thing though is when you're moving to the next boss, I ended up losing my Greench pet because he started pulling trash from the water. I don't know where he went. I think he died. So I did lose my Greench for the 3rd boss, unfortunately. So be very careful when moving to Lady Sarevess, that you don't lose your little Greench along the way. If you manage to keep your Greench in check for the 3rd boss, Lady Sarevess will just melt so fast. It doesn't even feel like a boss. So yeah, enjoy this boss. It's so fast. Like, try to get in as many spells as you can before it's dead. But yeah, this boss just melts. So we actually ended up ninja pulling the Murloc boss because the Greenches just ran into the room and pulled all the trash and then pulled the boss. I've also heard stories of people pulling Lorgus Jett's gauntlet through the waterfall on the right before reaching the Murloc boss, so you need to be really careful here. It's a bit RNG, I think, depending on where they want to run, they just run. And yeah, this boss, actually I feel like it's harder to do good damage on this boss because it feels like the boss is just immune for 90% of the fight and only up for like such a short period before he's dead. So pretty quick fights, and the Greench is definitely pump. The Lorgus Jett gauntlet is so fast now with the Greenches that like you can only multi-dot each ad once before they die. Everything dies so fast. You need to be careful about your Greenches dying to the lightning shield, so everyone needs to focus on swapping on the lightning shields as soon as possible, killing them before the Greenches just nuke themselves. But they have a lot of HP, so you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But otherwise the fight is so much shorter than it used to be. You don't even have to worry about mana issues anymore, it's just so quick. So Kelris is a boss you need to be extremely careful about with the Greench pets, because the trash before the boss is going to chain the Greenches to move forward until they enter the room and pull the boss. And as far as I understand, this boss is a nightmare to reset. I'm not even sure if he does reset, so you might have to run out the entire instance, and people might die to being slapped or to shadow crashes or to all kinds of things. So we ended up having to wait for our Greenches to despawn because we noticed that they were just almost running into the room already from like halfway before the room starts. So really be careful on this boss, wait for them to despawn before attempting to pull, otherwise you're just going to have to run in and wing it as you go. And then with the final boss, Akumai, you really want to try get your raid to dispel one of the stacks and spawn ads, because I had such a long portion of the fight where I couldn't hit anything. It felt really bad. I kind of lost so much damage not being able to Star Surge on cooldown. So definitely try to get one of your raid members to get the stacks and dispel them before the intermission so that you can just wail away on the ads while the boss is phasing to his next phase. And then yeah, the boss will just delete itself as soon as that's over. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I've been really enjoying making these balance videos for you guys. If there's anything else you want to see, or if you enjoyed this content in particular, leave a comment down below. A like and a sub is also appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.